Make Nevada great. What up, my fellow Nevadans? So, today I'm going to be talking about the statistics about coronavirus and the things that Governor Sisolak is not reporting to you, the news is not reporting to you, and God only knows why they're not doing this. This is going to be unbiased. I do not have an agenda. I'm not being paid off by nobody. What I do want is our economy to flourish and for us to not have the highest unemployment again like we did when we first shut down. Sisolak should realize that we don't have an option to shut down again. We do not. There are more consequences for us shutting down out of fear that's not based off of facts or logic than us keeping the economy open and being terrified of the death count and the overflow, supposedly the overflow that we're going to have of ICU beds and hospitalizations. I'm going to debunk that right now. Okay, so this is reporting coronavirus cases in Nevada July 12th. As of July 12th, these are statistics that are valid for this date, July 12th. So, population of Nevada, if you guys didn't know, the total population of our great state is 3.08 million. We're not that big of a state, which is another basis of not being as overreactive like California or Florida or Texas or New York. We're a small state. We shouldn't conduct ourselves like California or Arizona. So out of the 3.08 million, so far we've had 592 people die. God bless their souls. And the mortality rate is 0.019%. Very low. The total cases that we've had since March 12th, and those cases are going up. Why? Because in the beginning, as of March 12th, when this whole thing started and started spreading, testing was not available. And you saw Trump get bombarded with testing. We need to come with a testing system so we can track and protect the people, yada, yada, yada. Right. So we get the testing, and then the cases start to skyrocket. Why? Because more people are going to be testing. It's common sense. This doesn't mean that these people are getting more infected or they weren't infected before the 12th. Listen, people are around other people. People are touching surfaces other people are touching. Most people are asymptomatic and they don't have a bad reaction to it. So for us to overreact about the cases going up is illogical. We're getting more testing done. Our state and country is testing more than anyone else. Now, the thing about testing to keep in mind that we're not considering as well. If I were to take a test right now and I got tested positive, it would count as 1. Now, let's say I tested positive and then I want to test myself again to see if I still have it, let's say a week later or 2 weeks later. That will count as 2 new cases. Okay? These are specifics that make the numbers inaccurate, that they're not reporting. So that doesn't make any sense. Why is it that if I get the case again, I don't multiply, I'm the same person, you're telling me that's a valid, accurate analysis to push that over to say that, oh, he tested twice. Let's say I test 5 times. If I test 5 times, that's 5 cases. And I test positive each time, that's 5 new cases. Now, do the math of imagine 500 people doing that exact same thing or 1,000 people doing that exact same thing because the media keeps fear-mongering us thinking that this is like the plague and that you're going to die if you have it. Okay? This isn't the case. But this is the consequence of horrible leadership of Governor Sisolak and fake news coming from our local news here in Las Vegas. Anyways, out of those 27,683 cases that we've had, 17,766 have recovered and are doing well. You're probably asking, what's the gap? There's like a $10,000 gap. Well, the variables of people testing multiple times and that counting as multiple new cases is something to consider. Also, God bless their souls, the mortality of people that actually didn't make it, the 592 is there as well. Then we have unreported recoveries, people that just don't report it. They don't report that they were healthy or they overcame the sickness. And then the rest are people that currently have it that are overcoming it now as we speak. Those are active cases. So, as the CDC says here, this is where we get to what the approach should really be if I were leader or if Governor Sisolak wasn't such a pushover and God only knows what his intentions are. The CDC says that 70% of hospitalizations are from people over 75 years old. So, let's look at what Sisolak has been doing and what he's continuing to do of shutting things down. You're telling me that 75-year-olds and older are the majority of Nevada? Is that what you're telling me? Is that the basis of you shutting down things again for everyone else? What is the numbers for 75 and older population here in Nevada? I'm not sure yet. I guarantee you that's not the majority. So, 80% of deaths, okay, this is for the people that are freaking out about deaths. As per the CDC, 80% of the deaths have been from people 65 years old and older, and of course those with underlying conditions. Okay? I guarantee you again, the majority of people that are 65 and older are not the majority of the state of Nevada. Same with people with underlying conditions. See, as a governor, you need to do a fair analysis and then have that analysis to say what is the things that need to be done. Some thoughts that I have in mind. The people that are 75 years old, 65 years old, I understand his logic behind I don't want the overflow of the ICU beds and the overflow of hospitalizations where we don't have enough beds. But the question should be that if 70% of the hospitalizations are 75 years old and older, what is the population of those people? Okay, what is the population of those people? And what can we do to make sure those people are protected so we can still keep our economy growing and flourishing as best as we can? Okay, it's not perfect, but shutting it down 100% is not the answer. But again, if we shut it down, we're number one in unemployment in the U.S. So it's not an option. We can't have that. And people are complaining about unemployment not getting the payments to the state and federally as well because too many people are doing it. Okay? And we're looking at the consequences. If you look at the statistics of people that are dying from suicide, depression, stress, fear-mongering, listening to the news media of the fear, consistent fear of, you may have this, get away, wear a mask, oh, if you shake someone's hand, you'll automatically get it. Like, there's just so much fear onto it that people have anxiety, and that's even causing hospitalization from the insane amount of fear-mongering and insanity of getting the actual virus, and they don't even have the virus. It's just nothing but fear. This is failed leadership. Failed leadership. When it's all fear, none of it's hope, none of it's solutions, all of it's just overreacting, you're going to have consequences like that in a state as people look to you as a leader to set the example, set the morale for the state. So, what I would do personally, right, and I'm naive, but I don't, I'm young. But what I would do is those that are vulnerable, 65 and older, 75 and older, and those with underlying conditions, I will set up a delivery system. I'm not sure why Amazon hasn't even capitalized on this. Set up a delivery system of people delivering things to their front door, so they don't have to leave the house. Okay? Or family members and cousins can literally deliver stuff at their front door. They can Lysol it down. Bam, you have your food there. And you chill at the house until we get a vaccine. those that are vulnerable the most, unfortunately, and they're already probably doing this and they're probably peaceful with it either way, staying at the house and watching TV, stop watching the news, reading books, talk on the phone, you can FaceTime them, etc., etc. But the majority of people that need to work, that want to work, they're asymptomatic, and majority of them recover, as you can see from the stats. Mortality rate for Nevada, 0.019%, is very, very low. It does not justify us shutting down the whole state at all. There's different solutions that we can do for this, and shutting down the state is an overreaction. If you look at the state of Florida, same thing with the governor in Florida. That guy is doing this he's a prime example of what a governor should be doing. Okay, he's protecting the elderly. He has a location set up for the elderly in case it does get bad, but his economy is still flourishing and people are still out and about. Why? Because again, most people that are younger, healthy, they're under 65, don't have any underlying conditions, they don't have any symptoms. They do just fine. Okay? And we shouldn't be testing people just to know if they want to. Like, I guess I get the tracing and contact, and that makes sense. But we shouldn't be testing people, and if they test multiple times, that counts as a new case. It's inaccurate. It's false reporting that we have. And the death count, I want to link a video down below on my on the bottom on the description. There's doctors that say they're encouraged to assume deaths are caused by COVID. Okay, and none of these people conduct an autopsy to say this was strictly caused by COVID alone. Most of the time, it was a combination of two things. Most of the time, it was a natural death that was already in their system. Maybe they had a heart disease, had a heart attack, had lung issues, had diabetes, etc., etc. And they happen to have COVID in their system. They test them. They label it as a COVID death. How many of these deaths have we experienced here in the state of Nevada and in the U.S.? The CDC has already said that at least 25, Dr. Birx said this, at least 25% of the death count is overinflated because of this. Because they're not all confirmed. It's another question I have for the governor of Nevada, Sisolak. How accurate are you reporting? What are these people's agendas? Anyways, keep this brief, but thank you guys for watching. You guys can check this. All the statistics are on CDC's website. For the Nevada statistics that I pulled out, worldometer.info. All right, guys, we're going to make Nevada great. There's more videos to come. You guys have a blessed Sunday. Take care.